Namaste from Dhananjaya Kumar, and welcome to this video when we discuss the concept of a supplemental education system to supplement and complement the standard school education curriculum. And my observations are the product of 30 or 40 years of observing education systems around the world, learning from the good elements, good practices, good policies, as well as from great scholars and thinkers on the subject of education. And what we have found is that the general education system is somewhat below the standard that is required in today's society and civilization. There are many shortcomings, weaknesses, and some very fundamental weaknesses which are negatively affecting the future of children after education and therefore the future of society. So I have put together pearls from various sources into a garland we call Raising Intelligent Kids, and in Hindi we call it Pragyalaya, Wisdom Abode. Wisdom being higher and deeper than information and knowledge and analysis. Many countries have attempted and are attempting to improve the education system. Some improvements have been done and they are visible, but many of the fundamental weaknesses still remain because maybe it is felt that those things are for children and students to handle on their own. It is their family's job, and it is the outcome of children's own study. When they grow up, they study something else, they understand it, contemplate, and they will inculcate those wisdom in themselves. So it is their responsibility, it is personal. But that is not the case, because even personality, personal thoughts and beliefs are shaped from childhood, and they linger throughout their life. So if you look at today's problems in the world, be it poverty, exploitation, cutthroat competition, violence, war, poor health, nutrition, and destruction of the environment and nature, that is suicidal, and we are moving in that direction. We have discussed environmental issues, as I remember, at least 50 years, but not much concrete progress has been made. Things are either stable or declining further and endangering the future of humanity and human civilization. So it is an urgent task and responsibility for all of us to see where we can make some changes, some improvements in the education system, so that today's children have a more integral, wholesome education rather than subject-wise expertise. And when you ask children what they want to do after being educated, the only one thing they will talk about, and their families will say the same, is to get a job and make a living. Now, for human beings, supposedly much more intelligent than that, simply struggling to survive and have their basic needs met, this being their goal, then who will worry about the problems of the world? Who will solve the problems? Who will protect and preserve the environment? And who will build a higher intelligence civilization? As some of us may know that the level of civilizations have been divided into 7 steps, from one very mediocre, low level of civilization to 7, which is the highest, which is universal. And when asked about where we, the humans, civilization belongs, scholars and scientists have said we are less than 1. We haven't even reached the basic, minimum, mediocre level of civilization. Even if we have created artificial intelligence, real intelligence has not grown as it should have. So I have put together a list of what we need to supplement in the standard academic education system. This is not a replacement or a substitute. We still need literacy and basic reading, writing, speaking, mathematics, science, all that we need. But that is not enough. We need to supplement it maybe once per week, 1 hour, 2 hours, but an additional class which should not be taken as additional workload, because my experience has been in the last 2-3 years when we are implementing some of these programs in so far maybe 50 or up to 100 schools, and perhaps in the next year or so it may be 1,000 or 10,000 schools, slowly but surely. So those teachers enjoy it so much that it is like a recreation for them. It is refreshing. They feel more relaxed, more enthused. Similarly, children look forward to these Pragyalaya or Raising Intelligent Kids classes. They look forward to it, they learn so much, and believe it or not, those children who attend these kind of classes also perform much better, much higher in their regular classes, in their exams, without stress. So, I will in this video simply make you aware of the list of ideas that we have in mind and how we are gradually implementing it in Pragyalaya classes or Raising Intelligent Kids classes in many schools. So, first of all, avoiding mistake of intelligence, which our ancient sages have said in Sanskrit, pragya aparadh, mistake of intelligence or lower intelligence by mistake. So the concept here is that all the problems in the world have one root cause, that is lower intelligence. And higher intelligence is the solution of all the problems. Now this can be explained in much more detail, which I will not do right now. So, avoiding mistake of intelligence, where we are detecting root cause of all problems and raising the level of intelligence to solve all the root cause of all the problems of the world. Then we also notice that all children are under stress during the whole year, either due to homework, they don't have time for it, they forget what they learned in the class, or they are stressed with the examination. Sometimes they get crazy, they do drugs, and recently there are suicidal tendencies. So these are evils in society that we need to address seriously and urgently. So, as far as these classes are concerned, supplemental classes, once or twice per week, half an hour to 1 hour, that should be adequate to begin with, is stress-free learning. There is no exams, no deadlines, no competition, no stress. and that would be a boon. Then we attempt to develop the mindset, expanding the mind, growing the mind, accommodating mind, so that it is not fixed with the given set of information, knowledge, rules, regulations, thoughts, ideas and beliefs. That is fixed mindset. And in some of the modern literature, you will find a lot of books available on this, some good, some so-so, that a transformation from fixed mindset to a growth mindset is essential. Then we have integral brain function. Now, why do we need to integrate brain function? Because our brain works in basically two parts, the left and right. The male aspect of the brain, male qualities, and feminine qualities. They are not clearly divided because all parts of the brain work smoothly and with close interconnections. They are seamless, but they have certain tendencies. So feminine qualities and masculine qualities. Today's world is dominated by masculine qualities, and feminine qualities are opposite of that, and they should work in harmony, which is not happening. We are basically a left brain society and civilization. We need to integrate the right brain, the feminine brain. And those qualities are, for example, the outer world, inner world. Feminine quality is more inner reflection, male quality is more outer expression. Then logic and emotion. I would say the masculine quality first and then the feminine quality. Logic, emotion. Calculative mind versus intuitive mind. Now the right side of the word, second word that I am mentioning, are feminine qualities which are either weak, absent, or under severe curtailment, questioning. So, then there is ego and devotion. The masculine aspect is ego, feminine aspect is devotion. That need to be integrated. Competition, cooperation needs to be integrated. Empirical thinking versus integral thinking needs to be put together. Scientific and artistic. As we all may have observed, that greatest, brightest men and women who are scientists are also musicians. They go together. Then learning things by separating, breaking them pieces into pieces. Learning pieces and then learning the whole. Whereas there is a top-down way of learning, you get an overview and then go to small pieces. Similarly, gross versus subtle. Gross means that appears something solid versus something that solid is made of, the ingredients, the substance. So, gross and subtle. Then angular and spherical. Angular, triangle, rectangle, and spherical. Spherical is all inclusive into a round shape, and as you will observe in the whole universe, that eventually things appear to be round. The earth, the moon, the stars, the leaves on the tree, our fingers, our nose, face, everything ends up being rounded, but some angularity is needed. But if everything is angular, if wheels are angular, then we will not be able to move. So they are essential, they go together. And sometimes we ignore the softer part of it, the subtler part of it. Conflict and peace. There is more conflict than peace on earth. Even people who appear to be peaceful have some conflict within them. Individual versus collective. Individual selfishness versus collective welfare. That needs to be integrated. and focus and perspective and thinking and feeling, selective and collective. All these aspects are integration of two brain activity or two hemisphere of the one brain. Then education system focuses on what the problem is about and what we can do, but not a new way of thinking that does not create problem. So we have learned to create problem and struggle to solve it rather than prevent problem and live problem free. That is what we try to convey. So problem solving, critical thinking, far-sightedness. In other words, we need to pay attention to the consequences, long-term consequences of our action and policies, not the immediate results. Immediate results are important, but equally important are long-term implications. So far-sightedness, open-mindedness, and we learn the organization through puzzle games. When their pieces are scattered, they have no value, no meaning, they are randomly scattered and useless. But when we put them together, we get a map of the world, of the country, of the solar system. And that is a wonderful learning, joyful experience for children, I must say. And self-learning. Children should be also trained to learn by themselves. How they learn by themselves? Through their own curiosity, sense of observation, inquiry, and assimilation, contemplation. And we have a whole list of questions that we ask children to promote and bring about these qualities of self-learning. Self-awareness is also almost completely missing from the education system. The education system focuses on object awareness, outside world, things, not about the self. Who is the one learning? Who am I? What is my purpose, my goal, my capability and potential? These things are not paid attention to in the education system. And this is an integral part of Pragyale education for raising intelligent kids. Then the goal towards self-actualization, reaching the maximum possible we can reach in this lifespan, rather than struggling to make a living, find a job. Find a job is not a problem. There are lots of things to be done. But if you restrict yourself to specific 2 or 3, 4 careers, you want to be a doctor, engineer, things like that, there are thousands of professions that one can consider. But in the family environment and social environment, certain kind of jobs and careers are more viewed as higher or better or more comfortable. So instead of seeking a title, a position, our children should seek their fruition of their creativity and realization of their potential. Self-expression is not taught. Children are kind of stuffed, they're stuffy mind. They are not able to say or express freely. That should be brought out. Children should be taught how to speak, write stories, poetry, biography, and go outside, take a walk and look at the trees and feel the branches and the leaves. They should connect with nature. Connection with nature is one of the most important part of education that is missing in the regular education system. And then the value system is missing. Some efforts have been made to what they call value education. But value education is something more than teaching to be nice, to be kind, all that. That's also important. But value is how you value yourself and how you value society, how you value your feelings, your wisdom, your knowledge, your thirst for deeper and subtler aspect of knowledge. Then collective welfare. In other words, selfishness is the goal, is the rule in our society. Everybody is working for themselves, for their own profit and benefit, without caring about the collective welfare, collective well-being, happiness, and trying to contribute to that would be a good thing to learn. To serve, to give, to teach, and to make other people's life easier also. So, collective welfare is beyond selfishness. Storytelling can be a beautiful and most powerful method of teaching, but stories are being told as a set of events. It happened and that's the end of the story, and you ask children what they have learned, so they will say a word and you can tell them a second word. That's about it. But how to engage children in story, how to put children in the role of the characters in the story, what they would do in that situation. Would they say this? Would they do this? And why did the other character behave in this? So this is sort of analytical mind that is developing here, and children put themselves in many roles to see how they would behave if they were that person. So that is a wonderful learning experience. And of course, personal health, hygiene, social responsibility, all that is important. And learning from role models. There are very few real life existing role models that are brought to the attention of children that looks, this scientist, this astronaut did this and they went to the moon and they saw this. And I have my own experience, speaking with some of the greatest scientists and scholars and thinkers, and I learned so much from them. But the school system, the education system at all levels, from primary to college, university, did not put me in touch with those biographies and role models. And similarly, there are a few others. Question of alternative futures, that we are we have a mindset that says that this is the way to go, one path, one goal. But if you shift here, the path is wider, more comfortable, and goal is higher. But children are not taught that way. So we have developed a set of long list of questions. So what if the world were like this? What if we didn't have moon circling the earth? What would happen? What would happen if all the trees are uprooted? What will happen if the earth was moving at a slower speed? Similarly, there are many questions that forces children to think alternative futures, alternative arrangements in alternative guidelines for their living. And similarly, imagine and dream of alternative futures. It may be much higher, much superior than what we are stuck with now. So, I will close this video now. Thanks for your patience, your listening. Contemplate on these things and watch some of the other videos I have published on this channel about my talks at universities, at schools, with children, with other venues. So those videos are also quite instructive on education system and how to reform and upgrade the quality of education for our children, so that when they grow up, they build a more intelligent society and civilization. Thank you and namaste again. We'll meet again soon.